Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be ranking every monster in Pillar Chase 2. I hope you enjoy the video. And PS, this is all my personal opinion and you are more than welcome to disagree. If you have other rankings, make sure to tell me in the comments. Before we get started, this is our tier list. The 5 tiers are OP, really good, good, mid, and garbage. We will use and refer to this tier list when ranking.
Vapor.
Vapor is one of the 2 starter monsters in Pillar Chase 2. He does 75 damage per hit, which will instantly injure a player when hit. His 2 abilities are Spider Skull Summon and Demonic Shift. Demonic Shift allows Vapor to instantly teleport to his sphere. Vapor spawns a sphere at his location every 20 seconds or when he kills someone. All survivors near his sphere are highlighted on the map so Vapor knows when to teleport. So it can be useful if you're far away from survivors. Spider Skull Summon allows Vapor to spawn a Spider Skull, which will chase and deal small bits of damage to the closest player, which is really useful for getting survivors down to below 75 HP so you can one-hit them. One major downside with Vapor is that he is extremely slow, so it's hard to catch up to a player without using abilities or cutting corners. Vapor's stamina is okay, but not the best. So I am going to put Vapor in the mid tier. He is good for starters, but his extreme slowness and ability and lags make him have his spot in mid tier.
Rosemary.
Rosemary is the 2nd starter monster in Pillar Chase 2. Its abilities are Demonic Shriek and Echolocation. Demonic Shriek lets Rosemary scream, making nearby survivors have blurred screens. It will also drain their stamina. Demonic Shriek is mostly useful in maps with lots of turns. Maps that are very open aren't as useful with Demonic Shriek. Echolocation increases Rosemary's vision, as well as highlights all survivors on the map. It's extremely useful for getting to survivors that are far away, especially in maps that are particularly dark. Rosemary deals 30 damage, which makes her one of the least damaging monsters in the game. However, she has a high sprint speed. I am going to put Rosemary in the garbage tier. Her terrible damage and mid abilities make her a bad pick to play as. She is planned to have an overhaul in the future. I might update her spot if it makes her any better.
Aoni.
Aoni is the first monster in the game to cost coins. He costs 1,150. He deals 40 damage, which is decent. His 2 abilities are Omnivision and Shapeshift. Omnivision highlights all survivors on the map, as well as regens Aoni's stamina. It's basically just a better version of Echolocation, but instead of brightening the map, Omnivision darkens it. It's useful for finding survivors easily, but can interfere with your vision. Shapeshift is the best part of Aoni. It allows him to turn into another player until a timer runs out or he attacks someone. It can easily deceive players, allowing you to get close to them. You also run just as fast as a normal survivor. In my opinion, I think Aoni is very underrated. He is very OP if you are going stealth, and he has really high stamina allowing him to run far. Although his below average damage makes him have to hit 3 times to kill, making it easier to escape. His attack hitbox is one of the largest, making it a piece of cake to attack survivors. I think Aoni deserves the good tier. He is really fun to play as and can be OP when used the right way. But I just think there are other better monsters.
The Fogborn.
The Fogborn is the 4th monster in Pillar Chase 2. He deals 30 damage, which is pretty low. However, he makes up for it with his fast attack speed. His 2 abilities are Thunder Warp and Foggy Stare. Thunder Warp allows him to go invisible and go extremely fast. It is extremely OP. However, he can't attack or run for a brief period of time after warping. It's still very useful. Foggy Stare makes Fogborn stand still for 5 seconds, if a survivor looks at him. they will be highlighted red, and the Fogborn will start to call and run way faster than normal. It will also activate his passive ability, which will refill his stamina, and decrease stamina drain. Fogborn will return to normal after 9 seconds, or until he kills the red survivor. I will put Fogborn in the really good tier. He is really good. His attack and run speeds are very fast, and his abilities are very OP. But I don't think Fogborn is in OP territory yet.
EXE.
EXE is the next monster on our list. He deals 45 damage, and has a sprint speed of 19, which is fairly good. His abilities are Too Slow and Thorny Grave. Too Slow lets EXE run forwards fast. If he touches a survivor, he will trigger a short cutscene and deal 50 damage. It's useful in chases since EXE isn't that fast, which is ironic since he is Sonic. Thorny Grave allows EXE to place a trap. If a survivor steps on it, they will be trapped for 15 seconds, and EXE will get a speed boost and the trapped survivor will be highlighted on the map. Traps automatically let go survivors if they are 5 HP or below. EXE also has a passive ability. Every 11 seconds he will highlight all survivors near him for a brief period. I will put EXE in the really good tier. His abilities are great and he has good lobby wipe potential.
Oh, hi.
Baldi is an extremely unique monster in Pillar Chase 2. Instead of running normally, he moves in bursts. He does 45 damage per hit, which is decent, and he has infinite stamina. Baldi's abilities are math and anti-hearing tape. Math allows Baldi to place a notebook down at his location. Anyone who touches it will have to answer a math question. If a player answers a question correctly, they will take a small bit of damage and speed up Baldi. If they answer a question incorrectly, they take even more damage and speed up Baldi even more. It is good to place notebooks in doorways, staircases, or objective spots so that players are forced to pick them up. Anti-hearing tape allows Baldi to place an anti-hearing tape. It muffles his ruler sound and highlights all survivors on the map. It's basically on E-Vision or echolocation, but it doesn't alter screen brightness. Although a huge downside to Baldi is that without players grabbing notebooks, he is very slow, and Baldi is extremely map dependent. I am going to put Baldi in the good tier. His high map dependency and slow speed makes him in this tier. However, I think he is very fun to play as.
Uncle Samsonite.
Uncle Samsonite is the next killer on our list. He deals 50 damage and has 19 sprint speed. He has 3 abilities this time: Sam's Domain, Dance Off, and Domain Traversal. With Sam's Domain, he can grab a player and teleport them to his domain, where they will have to find the correct door to escape. And with Domain Traversal, Uncle Samsonite can teleport to his domain. In his domain, Uncle Samsonite can use any door which will teleport him to a random spot in the map. It's best when Domain Traversal and Sam's Domain are used in a combo, so you can kill the player that's in your domain. It is very useful to easily kill a survivor and increase the timer. Dance Off makes Uncle Samsonite move his arms up and down, and make the dance meter of nearby survivors go up. When it's full, they will dance in place. It's useful during chases since it completely freezes survivors. I will put Uncle Samsonite in the really good tier. He is OP, but very easy to avoid, especially since his chase music plays from far away.
I always come back.
Springtrap is our next monster. His abilities are Ventilation Error and Phantom Step. Ventilation Error causes close survivors to have flashing black screens, loud breathing, and draining stamina. It is very useful in chases. Phantom Step makes Springtrap turn into a ghost, where he can move very fast, similar to the Fogborn's Thunder Warp, although less slow and not fully invisible. If Springtrap touches someone using Phantom Step, they will get the Fearful debuff applied to them. The Fearful debuff is Springtrap's passive ability. It adds 35 damage to his attack to the survivor that has the debuff. It lasts for 17 seconds. It is very useful since it can allow Springtrap to 2-hit the survivor instead of 3-hit. Survivors with the Fearful debuff are also marked on the map. I will put Springtrap in the very good tier as well. His passive ability makes him very good for chasing survivors, and he has pretty good abilities. Up next is MX. He deals 70 damage, which is really good, and he has 24 sprint speed, which is great as well. I personally mained MX due to his really good lobby wipe potential. His two abilities are Charging Demise and Pow Hop. Charging Demise lets MX charge forward fast. If he touches a survivor, he deals 9 damage per tick. If MX runs into something while charging, he will be stunned for a couple of seconds. Pow Hop lets MX jump forwards pretty far. Jump Now button will appear on survivors' screens when MX uses Pow Hop. If they don't jump, they will be tripped and stunned for a few seconds. If MX lands directly on a survivor using Pow Hop, and they don't jump, they will instantly die. MX also has a passive ability. Whenever he kills someone, all of his cooldowns will be reset and all survivors will be highlighted on the map for a few seconds. I think MX definitely deserves the OP tier. His abilities are insanely good, and his passive ability lets him clear lobbies fast.
The Forest King.
The Forest King is our next monster. It deals 25 to 40 damage, depending on if it's sprinting or not. Its abilities are Glitching Blitz and Lurking Facade. Glitching Blitz allows the Forest King to shoot out a glitchy ball. If it touches a survivor, they will have a staticky screen and slowly take damage. Lurking Facade lets TFK spawn a floating head. If it touches a survivor, a glitchy tree will spawn next to them and trap them next to it for a few seconds. All survivors near the floating head, as well as the spawned glitchy tree, will be highlighted on the map. TFK also has a passive ability. Whenever a floating header spawns a glitchy tree, it will gain stamina and get a speed boost for a short duration. I think TFK should go in the really good tier. Its abilities are unique and good, but I don't think it's quite at OP level.
WYST.
WYST, short for Weird Yellow Smiling Thing, is our next monster. He deals 30 damage, which is relatively low, and he has 21 sprint speed. His abilities are Gobble Bomb and Frenzy. Gobble Bomb lets WYST shoot out a white ball. If it explodes on a survivor, they take 40 damage. Frenzy highlights all survivors on the map for a few seconds, and his movement and attack speed will be faster. And when he uses Gobble Bomb while in Frenzy, he shoots 3 balls instead of 1. However, in Frenzy, WYST drains stamina faster. Frenzy lasts for 14 seconds and has a long cooldown. I'm putting WYST in the really good tier. Gobble Bomb is mostly hit or miss, and Frenzy has a long cooldown. However, I still think he's good.
Niloticus.
Niloticus is our second to last monster on our list. He has a whopping 27.5 sprint speed, and deals 20 damage. But don't let his damage discourage you. He is the fastest monster in the game by a long shot, and can outrun survivors even with Stefano. His abilities are Godly Leap and Irradiated Mist. Godly Leap lets Niloticus jump forwards, dealing 25 damage. Its hitbox is extremely broken. Irradiated Mist lets Niloticus spray mist on the ground. If a survivor is near it, they will be highlighted on the map and take damage slowly. It's useful to put them in important areas. I will put Niloticus in the OP tier. His extreme speed and broken hitboxes make him a pain to play against.
Vita Mimic.
The Vita Mimic is our last monster. It deals 15 to 40 damage. He deals 35 to 50 damage to players that are alone. He has a decent 21 sprint speed. Its abilities are Elder Ascension and Animalistic Instinct. Elder Ascension lets the Mimic screech, becoming slightly transparent, and he will move way faster. Animalistic Instinct allows Vita Mimic to highlight nearby players. If he hits a highlighted player, they will bleed. Mimic also has a passive ability. Whenever he kills someone, his damage will be increased by 4, and caps at 30 extra damage. Players alone will be dealt 10 extra damage. I'm putting Vita Mimic in the OP tier. His great abilities and OP passive ability makes him in OP tier. And there you have it, folks. This is the full PC2 tier list. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Pillar Chase 2 content, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video.